This man right here, Big Bad Beta Ray Bill, put on a fucking 7-star classic match with Surtur, the fire god. Now, if you don't know Big Bad Beta Ray Bill, all you need to know is that this is the man that fought Thor to a standstill, hit that man with the belly-to-back German suplex, and Odin said, "Oh! You dope, you deserve your own hammer." Because he was so worthy and so noble that he was even able to lift Thor's own hammer, Mjolnir, and they had to fight over it. Odin said, "You know what, I'm sanctioning this fight," and Beta Ray Bill won, but he didn't let Thor perish, which is why Odin gave him his own hammer, Stormbreaker. From that day forward, Beta Ray Bill became not only a friend to Thor, but a brother to him as well. And when Thor was no longer worthy of his own hammer, Beta Ray Bill offered up his hammer. Beta Ray Bill has always had Thor's back, which is why when Thor became a Herald of Galactus, I think he was trying to stop that Black Winter, and Beta Ray Bill was against it. This was when Thor was king of Asgard. And Bill was not having it and was standing against Thor, and they came to blows over that shit. Thor now had the power cosmic, along with the power of his own, along with being the Allfather now. They weren't on the same level anymore, but Bill was still banging with this man. When Bill wouldn't let go of Thor's hammer, which was being called back to him, and he said, "Yo, I will rip your arm off," he was not budging. Thor said, "All right. Well, this is happening now." He took Stormbreaker and broke it over his own hammer. I couldn't believe that shit when I saw it. And Thor was going to strike down Beta Ray Bill because he was still defiant till the end, until Sif came in and interfered. And she's like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" She had Bill's back, and that man also had a concussion because he was like, no, I'm fine. She's like, "What day is it?" He's like, "Monday?" She's like, "Is that a question?" He's like, "Point proven." The worst part about Beta Ray Bill losing his hammer is that it's what he used to get back to his humanoid form. This form right here is a form he was transformed into. Back when Surtur was threatening his planet and his people, Beta Ray Bill was chosen to be transformed into a champion. All the other predecessors died. Beta Ray Bill is the only one that survived the augmentation into this like horse cyborg. Now that he no longer had Odin's hammer that was gifted to him, Stormbreaker, he can't transform back. Thor never really apologized for this shit either. He's remained on Asgard. Thor summons him for a drink, and Beta Ray Bill's like, "Hey man, unless we're gonna talk about how you broke my fucking hammer, what we got to talk about? Like, what am I here for? Unless you need something, because if you don't, the king can drink alone." And Thor needed information on Thanos at the time, and then he tells Beta Ray Bill that he's trusting him to be his like second in command. If he's not here in Asgard, he needs him to take over, and he makes him the weapons master. He gives him all the weapons available on Asgard. When Thor was dealing with the King in Black situation, Fin Fang Foom showed up to Asgard and was wrecking house. And even though he had access to all the weapons, this was still a big battle for Beta Ray Bill. Because Fin Fang Foom was tearing through mad shit, but Beta Ray Bill was trying to stop him along with Lady Sif and all the other Asgardians, but the shit it wasn't easy. And then in comes Thor, who knocks him down in one strike, and he's like, "Bill," and Bill's like, "Thor." And he's like, "I didn't think Fin Fang Foom would be a big problem for you." And Bill tells him, "Yeah, if I had my hammer, he wouldn't be." And he's like, "But I gave you all the weapons of Asgard." This is a great parallel to Riri Williams in Ironheart in the way that Thor is acting. Riri's at the beginning of her journey where she's doing some things that are impulsive and a bit selfish, but she's going to learn from it. Thor, however, he's a hero, yeah, but he's also being an asshole. He destroyed this dude's hammer, something that he really depends on. And he thinks the answer is, "But I gave you all these other weapons." Nah, man, it's not the same, and you know it's not the same. I'm not sure why Thor didn't just replace the hammer, since he had the power of the Allfather now. Afterwards, we see them in, like, the Great Hall, and like Thor's living it up, got women all over him, and you see Beta Ray Bill just steaming on the side. And there's a dude that comes up to him, Pip, who's like, "Yo, he's still inspired by Beta Ray Bill." And Beta Ray Bill, like, he can't hear that shit right now. He's about to go, but Sif, Lady Sif, was a big thing for Beta Ray Bill. It's like, "Hey, said you owe me a drink. Now you trying to skirt out of here? No. You owe me 2 drinks now." And so they start getting like, hot and heavy, and they go back to his quarters, and she sits on his bed and is like, "Okay, how does this work? You go back to your humanoid form?" And he's like, "Oh, I thought you knew. I can't go back to that form." When the Donald Blake persona of Thor had broken free and was going wild, Odin came back out of retirement for a second, and he called forth Mjolnir. Beta Ray Bill grabbed it and was able to transform to his humanoid self. But without that, he can't do it. And Sif's like, oh, realizing that, and she's saying she's sorry, and Bill's like, "You don't have to apologize. I have eyes." And he looks in the mirror and So now he's getting on his battleship Scuttlebutt. Thor's surprised he's leaving, and he's like, "Are you fucking serious?" Beta Ray Bill's telling him, "When you're there to take all the glory, I'm always looked at as second place to the mighty Thor." And Thor's like, I can't control that. I am who I am. And Beta Ray Bill tells him, yeah, you're also the motherfucker that broke my goddamn hammer. You took away Odin's greatest gift to me. And I'm here in Asgard just being reminded of my failure. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go find Odin and I'm gonna get him to make me a new hammer. I'm gonna make myself beautiful again. Man. And what's crazy is when he gets on the ship, Scuttlebutt, he's got Peter Pan, the Robin Williams one, playing in the background. And we see that playing throughout the background of this entire miniseries. We then see Scourge come through from Valhalla because he was bored there and they don't have guns. And he sees his boys in trouble. He saw what went down with Sif and he's there to help him on this journey. He's going to be his wingman. And he happens to know where Odin hangs out at, this bar. And you know, they get there and some trouble ensues and we see Beta Ray Bill hit a dude with the fucking Rainmaker, which lets us know he's a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan and a Kazuchika Okada fan as well. Also, I know it's a bar fight, but hitting a regular dude with a fucking Rainmaker is sicko work. I fucks with Beta Ray Bill. Another friend, Pip, who was talking to Beta Ray Bill back in that mess hall, is there now because he wants to be there for the journey too because he's inspired by Beta Ray Bill. Then we see Odin come out and everything gets calmed down. And we see Beta Ray Bill ask Odin for help. Like, yo, can you make me a new hammer? And he's like, I can't. It's not the hammer that gave you that ability to transform back. That's not the legendary power with it. And you could go to Nidavellir and get a new weapon made for you, but the power, the thing that you're looking for that helped you transform back to that humanoid form, that was magic, and I don't have that anymore. I'm not the god I used to be. Odin's trying to tell him, like, yo, I saw something in you from way back, that noble spirit of yours, and you're going to see, like, yo, your beauty's on the inside, and Beta Ray Bill shuts him right the fuck up there, because he ain't trying to hear that shit. And he tells him, yo, I've never asked you for anything, not one thing. I never asked for shit, and after your kin destroyed the one thing that is most precious to me, the thing you gifted to me, you're going to send me away with nothing? Odin says a fucking cold line that basically, like, it encapsulates what this whole book is about. And he tells Beta Ray Bill, I know what it's like to hate what you are on the outside. There's one way to get what you seek, but it's a dark path and it leads to Muspelheim. The power you seek is in a sword called Twilight, the blade of the fire god. Surtur has just been sitting there since his defeat. He can't use it, it's not clear why, but is waiting to be claimed. This weapon is an entity that Bill knows well because Surtur used that to destroy his world. Surtur is the entire reason that Bill was transformed into this horse cyborg champion of his people. Surtur used the life force of the planets within Bill's solar system to power the sword. Such power like that is what Bill needs. It'll turn him back into his old self again. So Beta Ray Bill makes a fucking course to Muspelheim. It's a long journey too, and it's filled with all these like trials he's got to go through because they get to Muspelheim and that place is all fucking fire and lava, and he's got to go through the lava to get to the source. In this journey, he sees his past, his fight with Thor when he became transformed into this cyborg-like being. The last words of his mom as she's telling him she'll always love him no matter what he looks like. It was the last time they ever spoke before Surtur came and just fucking cleaned house. He goes through this with Scuttlebutt, who now has like an avatar. It gained like this little bit of a sentient life and was no longer attached to the ship as a whole. It got like this whole metal body. Scuttlebutt has seen all this and has been with Bill from day one. Bill reaches the sword, and as he goes to get it, Surtur comes out. He was there waiting for his ass because he had to prove himself worthy of carrying the blade again, and he needed a worthy opponent. Who better than Beta Ray Bill? Beta Ray Bill don't need an excuse to get it on with Surtur because this dude destroyed his home, destroyed his planet, and killed his people. Took out his entire family. Yo, he's ready to bring death to Surtur. And Surtur's just like, oh man, the Twilight Sword is wise because it demands a tribute. Let's get this shit cracking. Keep in mind, Surtur's a fucking giant, a fucking fire giant. And Bill's like, yo, you're such a coward. You want to fight? You want to scrap? Come down to my size. Come down to my size and let's do this. Surtur's like, I don't give a fuck, let's bang then. Bill sends a big ass roundhouse to Surtur's head and Surtur blocks that shit. It sends a shockwave and Pip and Scourge are like, God damn. And Scuttlebutt's like, yeah, a fucking giant fire demon fighting an augmented cyborg horse. Yeah, this shit's real now. Surtur is fucking bringing the heat. He's throwing jabs and crosses at Beta Ray Bill, but Beta Ray Bill's blocking that shit till he gets hit with an uppercut and then fucking nailed with a V-trigger knee right on the button. The lift on that knee is crazy. It knocks Bill back, but he's still in this shit because he throws another uppercut, but this time right at Surtur, and it lands right on the chin. And I think he's knocking teeth out, and Surtur is pissed. He's like, oh, this is what we're doing? Okay, well, big boot across your fucking face. He gets wrist control on Bill, pulls him up and hits him with a short arm fucking clothesline. Bill is on his knees and Surtur still has wrist control as he's just laying waste, hammer fisting this dude. Pip tries to interfere with some gunfire but gets ran through by Surtur, and he's like, okay, well, I had some bombs on me, so you enjoy that. And Surtur gets hurt from the bomb left by Pip. It blows up on his hand. Beta Ray Bill sees what Pip did, looks at Pip and is like, all right, man, you gotta catch this shit. He gets wrist control on Surtur, pulls Surtur's left arm through his legs for a pump handle slam, lifts up Surtur and jumps off a fucking cliff and impales Surtur on a spike with the Made in Japan. He hit that man with Shingo Tagaki's finisher. Come on. Come on, back-to-back graps. That's what I'm talking about. A New Japan fan through and through. But then Surtur got up like, you know what? Fuck this. And he goes back to being a giant. Meanwhile, Scuttlebutt set up a huge gun for Scourge to fire, and it blows a hole through Surtur. It cleared some of Surtur's chest, and he falls down, which gives Beta Ray Bill time to go and get that Twilight Sword, pull it from the stone, and slow walk to Surtur as he drags it against the ground. And Surtur's like, huh, the sword agrees with you, Bill. He takes that shit up and gives him the Ned Stark special across the throat. Bill tells Surtur, yeah, that was from our home. This is for me, and then transforms back to his humanoid form. We then see that Scourge goes back off to Valhalla. His time is over because he's helped his friend on his mission. And we see Scuttlebutt sitting with Beta Ray Bill, and they're watching Peter Pan, the part where he's all old and came back to Neverland. The kids are like, there's so much. I don't say, oh, there you are, Peter. Just as Beta Ray Bill is in his humanoid form watching this. He did it. And Pip is still alive and he's basically in the ICU. Pip's like, yo, you gotta be happy, man. You're back to your humanoid form. You did it. And he's like, nah, with your sacrifice, we did it. Pip tells him, yo, I'm happy for you. You got what you wanted. You're whole again. And we see Beta Ray Bill walk over to the window and he says, yeah, you're right, Pip. And he's looking at his reflection, and he still sees himself as that augmented cyborg horse. And he tells Pip, yeah, I couldn't be happier. Fuck. This has to make you wonder, is this a mental thing, or does he actually see his reflection that way? Or is it a Hulk and Banner situation, which I think it might be. I love this series not only for the graphs, but I think it's a good look at like body dysmorphia as well, because all Beta Ray Bill can see is the flaws in himself, and he thinks and wants to be the way he was before. Even when he gets what he wants, he still sees that other version of himself when he looks in a reflection. This book was so cold. It was written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson and colored by Mike Spicer. Shit just goes so hard, and I love this for Beta Ray Bill because he gets a power source in something outside of Asgard. This isn't something that was gifted and bestowed upon him. It's something he went and took and got for himself. It's his own thing, which separates him from Thor now. And we get to see if it makes him Thor's equal or even stronger than him. But yeah, this read was we got a good scrap and a great story. That's the shit I'm talking about.